Yeah.
We're poor people.
Yeah.
All of us are
Yeah.
poor people. Yeah. So that's why we need to
So
specify.
bold
this.
of you to assume that I'm poor.
Alright. So amongst us, who is a poor person? A poor person is someone who cannot fend for his basic necessities.
How can government determine that?
Check it. Who is not living in an apartment, who does not have a roof over his head, who can't feed 3 meals a day, you can't pay school fees, you can't buy water, you can't pay for food. This is proof that you are poor. I feel this is the standard metric. Anyone earning below the stated
the minimum wage, right?
The minimum wage.
Yeah.
I think that's about 70K. Yeah.
7K.
So if you can't earn above
Yeah,
77K, you're poor.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely. I
poor.
agree
In
with
Nigeria,
you.
that's based on Nigerian standard, obviously. In other parts of the world, it's different. The standard is a lot different. But
So-
in Nigeria, less than 77K.
Core members in Nigeria earn 77K.
So they are
poor.
poor.
I don't get
Ooh.
it.
Fact.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? Because when we talk about poor people, so is it poor people who are married or just any poor person?
So for me, I think if you're married and you're earning 77K and your spouse is earning 77K or maybe a little bigger than that, you're very poor. I mean,
All right, so I think we have.
If we are talking about being poor based on Nigerian minimum wage, a lot of things to consider. The economy of the country, the money in this place, what I need to afford. He stated something like having a house and being able to provide your needs. What can that 77?
that's what they are poor.
No.
They are
Because they
poor.
can't afford
Then-
those things. Whether it's the situation of the country that causes it or not, they
Yeah, it
are
doesn't
poor.
matter. That doesn't matter.
Whether
Then-
it's the country
then
situation or not, they are poor.
If the government
Yes.
are responsible for the citizens being poor, then why should they be the one determining who should be?
Now, I want to ask you.
Amazing.
You're saying the government.
No.
How can you say the government are responsible for the citizen being poor, whereas there are citizens who are every day making
All
money?
right, so Machi, okay, yeah,
Okay, now-
So the problem
guys.
is on the citizens, not on the government.
So, like, the government can have their policies, but you too, you have to find.
Okay, I think Wisdom wants to say something.
What has your Nigerian government since the independence day? What have they made? What are the blueprints? What are the things have they achieved that can make the
All
average
right.
Nigerian
Even with
comfortable?
that's
I think Wisdom wants to say something.
I think
Let
all these
Wisdom
things
say
is
something.
far-fetched,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
All this is far-fetched. Now, let us double down to a couple,
Yeah.
and they are both earning 77,000 naira.
Yeah.
That's approximately over 150K.
Yeah.
Now, there are people in this our country who are living comfortably under 150K.
Comfortably is the wrong word.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let us.
Let us-
Now
You
consider.
cannot feed me alone as a single man.
Maybe they are
Because-
contented.
Because that, no.
Contentment is still poverty.
That's poverty.
No, you cannot say contentment is poverty.
It's poverty
There are
related.
people. If you go under the bridges, there are people who are there living very well.
Living
Under
very
the
well.
bridge, I'm telling you now.
Very
under the
well.
bridge, and
So
they are
this
still.
guy-
What is
What's
your
the
metrics
definition of
for
very
saying
well?
No, what I'm saying that the fact that you guys are saying that the government should sterilize the poor people, that is body shaming right there. That is financial shaming.
I swear,
Because-
money
because
shaming,
I'm
right?
I'm of
That's
the
money shaming.
look, children.
He said it's money
Look,
shaming.
having children is beautiful now. I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
Now,
No,
let me
you
ask
know,
you
it's
this question.
wickedness
now, there are
to bring a
parents.
child into the world.
All right,
It's
so,
not
okay,
it's
okay,
wickedness.
guys.
It's not wickedness.
Whether you like it,
Whether you like it
I
or
think
not.
I think I need to ring the bell. Then. Calm down, guys. All right. So I know we all are so passionate about the topic of today. So let's breathe. Everyone, take a deep breath. This is a safe space.
You know, right?
All right. So here's the thing, right? I think Kelechi made a point that I think is quite valid. He says the reason why the vast majority of people in Nigeria is poor is because of government's inability to live up to expectations. Say government is unable to provide even things like pay a reasonable minimum wage, because I mean 77k is not, like you guys said, enough to like cater for people's needs, and it is government that sets that particular amount of money as a minimum wage for the people. Governments have not been able to provide things like basic amenities and all of that. It means governments have not been able to like secure the what's it called, the country. Governments have not been able to like provide us with the amenities we need to thrive as a society and all of that. It then means that most people have an incentive to thrive. So most people have like the passion to thrive, to do well, but there really isn't any government incentives available for them, right? It then means that like the vast majority of people, that we know that there are people who are poor because they are lazy, but there are people who are poor not because of their own making, maybe because of financial family backgrounds and all of that.
Something about being
I'm coming to that, right? But then government, so we are trying to say that in the vast majority of instances, government is largely responsible for the poverty of.
No,
I disagree.
I disagree.
Chill, right?
Now, in what way do you
Principle of money is that he has 10 naira. 10 naira. Owe me 10 naira, and I owe him 10 naira, and he owes him 10 naira, and he owes him 10 naira. It is the same 10 naira that works through. We don't print money. We don't literally reprint money every time. Money is circulation. What happens with money is he owes you 10 naira. That is to say, maybe you have a service you had rendered to him. Someone who has money in their hands.
I think.
Now, what I'm trying to say here is this: whether you're working a regular 9 to 5 and getting paid the 77k as the minimum wage, or you're doing a business that brings money constantly into your hands, wherever the option is, everybody has equal opportunity of making money.
You know that the vast majority
now that having the ability or the opportunity of making equal opportunity of making money, yes. Now that alone negates the idea of sterilization, because you do not know when the average poor person is going to actually live.
Now you're poor, especially when you're not offering any value. I remember when we were mentioning the characteristics, he mentioned the minimum wage part, right? Now there are other things that you check beyond just minimum wage. It should enable you to like maybe afford basic needs, right? But then apart from being able to afford basic needs, there's also a question of what kind of value are you bringing.
Minimum wage at 77k, but they have been working for years. 77 who still the same that dictate whether the person will have to have a chance of giving birth or not.
I think you guys are missing out on Kelechi's point, right? Because yes, please, can you respond directly to what Kelechi just pointed? Yes.
Yeah. This is a lie that poor people tell themselves to remain poor.
Exactly.
The biggest lie.
Let the poor breathe.
The biggest lie that
Let us breathe.
Come on,
Jesus. Please.
When was the last time public servant, people in the higher office, when was the last time they increased their salary? What's their salary?
That doesn't matter.
Answer me, what's their
Oh,
salary?
I really do not think. I really do not think it's fair.
I don't know how much.
What's their salary?
You know, this is not about
based on
Will you
level.
compare the normal citizen, the normal civil servant who elected them, to how they are working, and those in the office? Most of them are sleeping in the office.
Why were they elected?
Wait. Why?
What reason did
To
you
make
elect
law.
them?
To make law that will benefit the poor.
What's the reason?
make
That's
law
not,
that will
that's not the
benefit
point. No, that's not the question
No,
I'm
no, let me
asking. My
ask.
question is, what reason, what determinant was there for you to elect them? Why weren't you there to be elected?
Everybody have a role to play in this.
That's
society.
my point.
So
Because of the role that you have to play,
when we
the
are
opportunity
given a role,
is
that
the
means-
same.
No. When they are
You
given a
decide
role
on
to
what
play,
you
that
want to
means
do with the opportunity you have.
Wait, let me tell you. When you are given a role to play, then the public will have to direct on what you have to do, because they are the one that.
All
you
right,
have to
so
speak the
can I
job.
come
You
in
have to
here?
work for them.
Can I come in here? Somehow I want to like lend my voice to Kelechi and wisdom, right? And even though I'm going to be neutral, but like I'm just tilting here. I think that according to what they are saying, the reason why people are poor, and I agree with them, in as much as I want to buy your argument on how like people like have to like invest so much in like have to like get something they are selling for them to like get money and all of that, right? But I think that government provides job for the vast majority of people in society, right?
How many?
Chill, right? Because you have a lot of people who are civil servants and all of that. They're dependent on government salary and all. But then secondly, remember the battle, right? President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan during his regime was paying workers a minimum wage of just 18,000 naira. the workers kept battling and going on strikes before Buhari increased it to 30,000 naira. The workers had to go on another strike in order for them to beg for government to increase the minimum wage to 70,000 naira, which means these people are literally dependent on this particular money or stipends that government give them. But then see the thing, right? Most of them who work as civil servants now have to like work beyond the office space to do something else in order to survive. The thing is that most people,
when you don't have the time, you have
the time and all of that, right? So it becomes very immoral for the government to regulate how much these guys get to now determine the children that these guys have.
They should have.
Do you understand the analysis they are coming from, right?
To answer your point.
Yes.
Okay.
Now you said most people are hired by the government,
Yeah.
which is false.
Not
Check
most
the
people.
check the statistics. The ratio to entrepreneurs and the
And how it affects government we run, the government that makes so
I oh God, I need a
we don't just run capitalism.
oh God, I need a
We don't just run capitalism, right? We run a very twisted version
of
of
capital.
so private individuals have huge and
help you. Let me help you, right?
So what I'm trying to say right? So everyone
All right, guys. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? Because I think why capitalism exists in the first place is government running away from its responsibility.
Exactly.
Chill. So government is running away from its responsibility to government. I'm coming, right, Kelechi? Back to the government. But here's what capitalism looks like, right? Capitalism looks like a government of like a few, right? An economic system run by the very few, because the rich people keeps getting rich. They use the resources and like the energy and the workforce of the poor to amass themselves. So the poor keeps getting poorer and the rest of them. So capitalism in and of itself is very twisted in that particular regard.
Because capitalism into
exactly. So you can't say
you are bringing capitalism into it. So you are saying that government doesn't have a hand in.
no, I'm saying that the
You're not
problems
saying
of
government
capitalism is tied back to government. The reason why we are capitalistic in nature is because government has failed. And because capitalism is, we also saying that capitalism is bad. And we also tying that back to the government.
now what
The
I'm going to
government-
ask you
the government
what I'm
that-
going to ask you is, so capitalism is bad. We were the ones that discovered that the government has failed, right? We are
We
also
found
the
the
ones that
solution.
started capitalism. When we started capitalism, we automatically are saying we are no longer dependent on the
you.
government.
No, you can't say
Now,
that.
if we
No.
wanted to
Let's
make
do
the
this.
government take responsibility to an
If you
extent,
say we are
what we
no
would
longer
have adopted
dependent
is
on the
socialism.
Socialism could not have worked
Let
because
us make
you need the
something
government for the state to be socialist.
Let us- let us-
And the
let
government
us
cannot. So why would this failing government now determine the number of children
That's
people
what
should give
I
birth
want to ask. Now let us
I'm
make
going to
something
come back
clear.
to that. That's what I wanted to
Back
say
to
before
this
we came to this, before we
Yeah.
took over the capitalism talk. Now, how will this same failed government now be the ones to now make laws for you? The government failed, you formed the system. However, you maintained your system in the economic part and retained the government in politics. Now, when you retain
So
the
what would they
government
have
in
done?
politics, you gave the government
All right,
the
all right.
power
Now,
to make your law.
no.
Now, wait. If you adopted
Yeah.
socialism,
All right.
you
So
would have
guys,
balanced the power of the government
Machi,
and the
please.
power of the common man.
Look. What I'm
Wisdom.
trying to say is,
Wisdom, calm down. I know you want to say something. Yeah, here's the thing, right? The
come back.
major reason why we are here basically is sterilization. But I think that we really have not been like the reason why it's almost impossible for us to argue
To talk about it
sterilization
without the government
without
and-
talking about the metric for determining poverty.
Exactly.
But let's now assume that there is a standard,
Okay.
there's a metric.
Now let's
Let's
talk about the
assume,
problems of
yes,
having a lot
let's
of-
assume that there's a
There's already a
metric
everybody
for
agrees.
agrees on, right?
Okay.
So why do you think it is morally okay? I'm starting with you, Kelechi. Why do you think it's morally okay
Not-
that
Not okay. He said it's not in support.
Okay, it's not. Oh, sorry.
Morally
Oh
not
yeah,
okay.
morally not okay for the government to sterilize poor people.
Since we are focusing on Nigeria, Nigerian governments are working against its citizens. So why should they be the people determine the fate of these citizens? And the whole existence of human is about evolution and procreation.
And procreation.
Why should you be the one to deny that?
Okay. Kelechi response.
Yes, thank you. Now, the reason why I'm in support of this, statistically again, sorry that I keep going back to statistics. Statistically again, the crime rate in the nation, that's 60% of crime that is committed in Nigeria is committed by poor people.
Let me
Calm down. I didn't interrupt you when you were talking. So
Okay.
the reason people are robbing and all that is why, because people don't really have a lot of children. Most rich families have 2 to 3 children at most. That's what
And then you see a poor
You
people
see a
having
woman
12.
that is selling akara on the street with
Having
12
12.
kids.
Maybe your idea of crime. I keep tilting, right? Your idea of crime is the stealing and all of that. What if rich people commit like crimes in like very professional and formal
Rich
ways?
people have been embezzling millions of naira.
I mean, in ways that like
Time
What are you
immemorial.
saying?
Agreed. Is
Agreed.
it constituting a direct
You
nuisance
are
to
working
you?
against people.
yes,
You
because
are
the
working
reason
against
the money that is embezzled by these people that would have gone to the poor masses, so the poor masses are not able to cater for their needs. Hence, they now go to like do things like robbery and all of that. So that has a direct impact, but you don't see it because it is done formally.
How
Yeah,
you
it's
working
no direct impact.
against people and you want them to do better? Why will you be working against them and you want them
This is trying to get them to do better.
Oh, by stealing their money.
By stopping, by
the
stopping
economy
them
is bad.
from
When
banning
the-
themselves.
But you
when the
steal the
economy-
money
No.
they're supposed to
When
have.
the
It does not
economy is
work.
bad.
By stopping
How
them from
you
banning
stop-
themselves.
It does not work like that.
Let's create a scenario.
Now, I want to
A
tell you
child
something.
walks to a fire. A fire is directly in front of the child. You know that if the child puts his hand in the fire, he's going to get burned.
Yeah.
Do you allow the child put his hand in the fire because it's the child's right?
Kelechi's
Do you
argument
allow
is
the
who
child
sets the
to
fire
put
in
his
the
hand
first
in
place?
fire? Or do you stop him from putting his hand
Who
in the
sets
fire?
the fire in the first
Since
place?
we are talking
What
about
if
women,
it is the
since we are
father?
talking
So the
about
argument
poverty,
is that it
poverty,
is
we
the
are
government
talking
that
about
started this.
now.
The father started the fire. Why would his father start the fire and not want the child to put the hands in the
Since we are
fire?
talking about poverty being the main cause of crimes committed and all that, rich people that have money, why are they still embezzling money? Why are they still committing crimes?
Okay, direct
No,
clash.
answer that.
Here, here.
Right. So I like that you are so much how do I put it? I like that you're so much I'm looking for the right word. You're so much living yourself in this cocoon of morality, right? Where you think things should be done because there should be a direct effect of something because something was done wrong and it should go this way. And I want you to understand something. As long as life is concerned, there's no white or black. It is not pink, it's not blue. It's not white or black. So yes, I do agree that the rich do embezzle money. And sometimes the money they embezzle are the money that would have been used to build something for the community and make it better.
Wait,
Now,
wait,
I'm still coming because if you're saying the rich embezzle money, we're talking about rich that are probably in public offices where they have access to public money. And if they embezzle whatever they want, the money they embezzle should be used. I didn't interrupt when all of you. And the money that they used was the money they embezzled, the money that would have been used to build public facilities, right? So the investment money that would have been used for public facilities. Those public facilities, are that the money of the poor people? They are not. Now I'm coming. No! So it is the evil they committed and reaped the community of the facility according to you that have made the
It's
poor
the
to be
taxpayers'
poor.
money.
Now, calm down. I am coming. I want to land. I want to get
What's
some.
democracy?
No, let us
No!
talk
Let's
this
hear
out.
it.
Let us
I-
talk this out.
Let's
Government of the people,
For the
by
people and by
for
the
the
people.
people, right?
Why
How
did
that
you
is
say?
saying.
Why did
Abraham
you say-
Lincoln must be so proud.
Why did you say the money is not for the citizens?
I never said
What
that.
did you
I
say?
said the money is meant to build for public, for the community. So if it's for the community, it's for everybody.
Yes.
Like the rich and the poor.
Then why are they trying to siphon more of it?
But you
Then
cannot
leave
say
the
that
poor
it's
dry.
more because
Let us calm down. Now, let us talk about the minimum wage, Abi. 77,000 naira. And
Let me
we
know
have
wait the pen
no, wait.
But like that's minimum.
I hope people can hear our voice.
Because
Okay?
77,000,
That's
yeah.
the platform.
Yes, the 77,000 coming from a husband and a wife. That is over 150.
That's around 54K.
Yes.
That's around 54K.
Now with 54,000 naira, let us even tell ourselves the truth. In this country, outside, there are people who are living with 154,000 naira. Maybe not comfortably.
Thank you.
Maybe I said maybe not comfortably, but
Definitely
there is
not
okay,
comfortably.
definitely not comfortably.
Okay.
But there are families of 4, of 5, of 6 that their children are even at least having the most minimalist education. They are going to school. They are feeding as much as they can. Now you cannot tell me that a father and a mother who are trying their best, with or without the government's help, with their 154,000 naira, they're not minding
I like the
you.
emotional
understand?
standpoint
And
you're trying to
because
come
you
from.
cannot tell me they have found a way to make that money work for them.
So the government
You get-
is saying.
I think there's a dichotomy between being comfortable and living a luxurious life.
Exactly.
See,
They're not after
that you're on.
they're not after comfort.
See, I get what
There
you're
are
saying.
families out there
But the government
who
is
are
saying.
trying
the government
and they
is
are
saying,
We
surviving.
don't want you to survive. We want you to thrive.
And whether you like it or not,
You
because
cannot tell me
stop you from having 5 children.
I disagree. I disagree. Telling me to try. Because hey, if you want me to try, do better.
Try with what
911,
Do better.
come to the house show.
If it
911, come to the house show. The house is on fire.
let me leave.
Can you
Oh my
You cannot
God.
tell me not to
Can you
give,
calm
not to
down?
report.
I think your point is they're not stopping you from having sexual intercourse. Let's get this straight. You can still do your thing. They're just
That's why I
stopping you
said
from
castration.
Yeah,
Why
no
don't you have your child?
Sterilization is not
No,
necessarily
because even those
castration.
these
Okay.
children,
No, this is not about-
See, but even those these children you're trying to manage is directly affecting
So
the
now I have a simple question. Okay, I have a simple question. I have a simple question. Right.
Okay,
What is the
individual
come on, guys? What
People
then?
are talking about another people.
Much I'll send you out of my show. What is the guarantee that limiting or stopping people from having more children is going to make them rich?
It's going
It's
to
going to
make
make
more
them.
people rich.
It's going
Yes.
to make them live
Now,
better.
It's not going
Not
to make
necessarily
them
rich.
automatically, mark the word automatically. However, if the government, in my proposition, when the government decides to take up compulsory sterilization of poor people, given the standards already set and agreed by everybody,
Yeah.
for the as the metrics to judge who is poor and who
Do
is
you
not
know you are denying human
Right.
rights? You are denying poor people the fundamental human rights.
Where is it? Where is it in the fundamental? Read the whole fundamental of my
Read the
rights. Where is
constitution.
it?
What
Right to
what
what?
are
Calm
the essence
down.
of
They
life?
said the
Wait, what are the
fundamental
essence-
rights, right to
Right to
live.
life.
Right
Yeah.
to live.
But
Wait,
it is
what-
to live
what-
as a person that has
what-
existed
what-
already.
what
You can't
does-
have rights
what
to
does
live
life
as a
stand
person.
for?
Kelechi,
In your
yeah.
biological class, what does life stand for? Being able to breathe, being able to procreate, irritability. So
Being
if
able
you have
to-
wait,
being able to-
wait.
nutrition too is part of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
wait.
But you cannot feed.
Wait.
I feel like there's a
No,
difference.
you cannot
I feel there's a difference
categorically say you
between
cannot
alive
feed.
and
No,
living.
no,
You
you
need to
cannot.
state that clearly. There's a difference between being alive and living.
Good.
You can
Now-
be alive.
now-
Giving children as a poor man is you're
Yes.
bringing life. Yeah, they
Yes.
are alive. Agree. Are they living?
In their local areas, there are wait. You cannot tell a civil servant who is trying.
And still begging.
Let us try and still begging. Let me go with that. You cannot tell a civil servant in your own words. In your own words, you cannot. No,
You keep not living because
Beggars have a choice, have a right.
you cannot tell. Let me say something. You cannot tell. Okay, let me
Why
even
do you
leave.
borrow money?
Let
If
me
you don't
even
have
leave.
enough money to sustain you. That's one of the
No, you're wrong. That's not the reason. That's not the reason
How
for
many
loaning money.
percentage based on
Do you
the
know? Let
percentage?
me
Why
tell
do
you this.
people
Let me
borrow
tell
money?
you this.
No,
Every
because-
rich man that you know is living on loans. every rich man that you know,
Because they can
loans
pay
are not
back.
taxable.
Because they can pay back.
Okay.
Okay, all right,
Guys,
okay, guys, chill.
that is why
Chill.
you invest your money that you have to,
Yes.
and this is why, sorry bro, this is the reason why the
Hey,
rich
they're
keep
not
getting
co-hosts,
richer
bro.
and the poor keep getting poorer. Because the rich invest the money that they have, the money which is supposed to be in circulation. We said money is not created, money is circulated.
We are trying
We
to
agreed
focus.
that,
We
yeah.
are trying to
Yes.
focus
Now,
on
the
government.
money which is being circulated,
Yes.
the rich invest theirs and push it into circulation,
Okay.
and take money from
I
loans,
want to
which
ask
is
you
probably government issue.
Apart from being a
Yeah.
local baby, what are the chances of you getting wealth?
The chances of you getting wealth are dependent on you.
Guys,
No,
chill.
no,
Let's
we are looking
Kelechi,
at-
I think I'm going to
from
I'm going to
a
end
wide-
this show right now. I'm going to end this show right now. If you guys don't listen to me,
because I still have something I
right?
want to
Okay,
say.
guys,
No,
chill.
no,
Chill.
look.
Chill. Listen, guys. Oh my God.
Sorry.
we are looking at this thing from a very far place.
Calm down. I want to bring us up.
No, we are saying the fact that you feel the emotional need
You're
to
too
have a
emotional
child does
about
not mean
this.
you have to have that
All right.
child. You're logical enough
Um,
to have pity on the child
it's
you're
just
going
like-
to make
it's just
suffer
like-
and agree with the government. Let
No.
you be sterilized for a period of time, build yourself substantially, then you can go
Okay,
ahead
okay,
and have
okay, right. I want to say something.
No,
Guys, I am the host of this show and I have to direct this conversation. So please, our dear viewers, I mean, what is going on here? It's like there's an invasion. Tell Putin that whatever missile is sent to the house is actually working because, guys, there's an eruption and I think I'm caught up in the word because
I think Kelechi
these
is
guys.
taking it to heart. His
Yeah,
face has
they're
changed on
saying
every
emotional.
I mean,
I don't-
okay, here's the thing, right? Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking about this, and I know that the atmosphere is all charged and all of that, right? Let's calm down and maybe talk calmly now. We could go up again, but like, let's calm down. Kelechi, are you crying?
He's mourning for the poor.
You know, like, I mean, the poor have an. All right, okay. Kelechi.
Let's just focus on the rich people and all that. We are talking about government.
Humanity.
We are
And
we are focusing on government. Government is just like your own God. You get? It's just like your own God. After God, now government. You get? Because everything you do, government has the right
It's regulated
to
by
regulate
government.
everything.
Yes,
Whether you
that's
like
right,
it or not.
that's
If
right.
you commit crime, government will catch you.
Yeah.
Whether or not, or even if you say something against the government,
I like
they
this
can,
point he made.
Yeah.
they can catch you.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I have some
So if that same government is working against you, why do they have the right to dictate how you live your life? Wait,
Because
I'm
they have the
coming.
right.
Come on, let's take turns. Let's take turns to talk.
Since they have the right, the right you are talking about is just in another way denying humans and poor people.
They have, but they still have the
denying
right.
poor people their choice.
But they have the right.
Right.
They have the right, right?
Denying poor people their
But
choice.
they have the right.
The
But
right
you
that
said-
the citizen gave to them.
Now let me tell you, when you
What
give
did
them
you
the
say?
right, you ask them even if it affects me directly, as long as you feel to be
Then
good
why
for
did they
me,
impeach people?
do it.
Why did they
Look.
impeach people?
Why did they
Why you now decide?
wait,
When you now decide,
why did
oh,
they-
you are not doing too much. You cannot apply. You cannot
That's
decide
the
to
same
impeach them.
thing. It just
But they can make the law.
no. Wait.
Anyways,
Before
the
you
elections
beat
are not actually free and fair. Don't even say that.
Before
it's
government
gonna-
gets to impeach.
In the first place.
Why we are talking about because we are talking about if you gave the government right to make laws that affects you. Okay, when people protested in Lekki toll gate because the government were not treating them right, what did the government do?
they
shut
shut
them.
down.
So why are you talking about allowing the government that works against you to negate how you live your life?
Because
you
didn't
directly
give them the opportunity. You didn't even elect them. The election was rigged.
that will benefit
Give them
you,
the
right?
right.
The right, no. The right to do things.
You
that
get to do
yes
things
or
that
no?
they
Remember-
believe benefit.
No.
And did they give us the benefits to you?
Like I will always say,
Wait,
I will
wait.
always say that we are looking at this thing from a far place.
Oh,
We're looking at this thing
Oh
from
yeah,
a
now
far
where is
place.
the
Let us come back.
Okay, guys, I have a question to guide our direction, and it is directed to the guys on up, right? Opposing this conversation, right? So we believe, I personally am like subscribing to most of the things you're saying about how it is immoral for government to like deliberately harm people and weaponize their weaknesses against them and all of that. Say they are poor and then they are weaponizing their poverty to like determine how their life and like how they are better able to self-actualize through procreation and all of that. Question now becomes, there are people, we all agree that there are people who are out there on the streets, young children, young boys, that not just suffering, that come from homes that their parents are not able to cater for, and they become nuisance to society. Most of them are living under the bridge. Most of them struggle to like go through life and all of that, right? But then the problem now becomes that most of these people, when you check the background, the reason why they do all of these things is basically because they have a family that cannot cater for them. So they are forced on the streets, whether in the very early stages of their life or in the later ages of their lives, right? But the idea is that they are out on the streets fending for themselves. They meet bad company, cause harm on the society, and then do all that manner of terrible things. Some of them become cultists and all of that, right? How do you cater for that?
Can I say something there?
Yes, how do you cater for that?
Can I say something
Poor
now?
people are not the only one committing crime.
Yeah, but like, no, I
Don't
know.
blame poor people for the
No,
Chill.
So I'm guiding this conversation. I am guiding this conversation for clarity. For clarity,
It's not direct news.
Kelechi,
Let me
calm down.
there.
Here's the thing, right? When you say that, when I talk about crimes and all, listen, guys, I'm guiding this conversation, so I have to make clarification.
Yes.
It's not only poor people that commit crimes, right?
Yes.
But we want to reduce crime, right?
Yeah.
And if chill, Kelechi,
Hold on.
if you can marginally reduce crime through a sphere or an aspect of the society which is reducing the crimes committed by poor people, we can do that. Then we can also look for an alternative to like reduce crime from rich people and all of that, right? But like we are specifically talking about those crimes, let's be specific now. Those targeted crimes committed by people that are outside, that are from homes that are not able to cater for them. How do we cater for that? We know that rich people and other people commit crimes.
Yes.
We can look for alternatives
Now,
to solve those crimes. But like in this particular regard, how
All right,
do we do that?
let me come in there. Now, that's the reason. If you what I'm always talking about, that we are looking at this thing from a far.
Now come home now.
Now, what I'm saying is that let us bring it into play in a real life scenario, something that's happening out there that happened today, that will happen tomorrow and continuously. Now, you're talking about children who are outside, who are on the streets and are causing nuisances and all those things. And yes, there is no denying the fact that they are children from poor backgrounds. But let us also put into consideration that out there in Nigeria today, there are NGOs, there are sectors, there are companies, there are NGOs that have forums, that have they have forums that actually they are looking for these children to actually put them through school. There are you know what I mean? There are
those NGOs are like a few.
But no, yes, there are a few.
They don't get funding,
Instead of outrightly sterilizing the poor, we can begin with orientation. Orientate them for crying out loud. Instead of sterilizing outrightly.
The orientation does not.
It does not curb it.
The thing is that especially the poor does not understand the orientation.
It does.
I want you to know that a poor man does not understand peace. He only understands gunshots.
No.
Can I respond?
I do not. Let Kelechi respond. Okay, you guys are. Let Kelechi respond.
Let me respond to you.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Now,
After Kelechi is done, Kelechi second.
No, that saying is outdated.
it's not, because if you think about it, poverty is not created. Poverty is recycled.
Exactly.
Poverty is not a lifestyle. Poverty is mindset.
Acquire to admire.
Poverty. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Okay.
Now, this mindset has turned into habits. These habits have been passed down from generation to generation.
True.
And these habits are now a part of a lifestyle.
Okay.
That's what's created poverty.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, every man is not born equal. Agreed. Every man, we don't have equality in Nigeria, in the world generally.
Yes.
We have equity.
Life itself is
Life
not
generally
No,
is
we
not
don't have,
Yes.
even if your
Yes.
5 fingers are not equal. So
Yes, that life is not equal
Yes,
generally.
yes,
I agree.
yes.
I agree with this point completely. But now, have there been poor men who, in this same situation, in this same suffering, in this same, in quotes, living the terrible lifestyle,
Yes.
have they been able to rise through this tribulation?
1/100.
Yes.
They're just
Yes,
1/100.
yes.
What about the
Yes.
99?
But
Yes.
how did they arrive at this? How did they arrive at this? They dropped the generational, the hereditary.
You just shot
that
yourself
has
on the
been
leg.
passed. I didn't.
You just
Alright,
did that
Can I
now.
keep going? Can I keep going? I'm
Alright,
trying
let
to
him
drive
land.
at the point.
Alright,
I'm trying to
land.
drive at
Please,
the
Kelechi, be prepared to respond to him.
where I'm driving at is the fact that this poverty has been passed down in circles. Yeah, that's the point I'm driving at. So this is the reason to curb these circles from continually being passed. My point is, what is the need of continuing a circle when you could end it?
What if
The reason why I said
what if the government could increase the
reason why I
minimum
said
wage
you
like
just shot yourself on the leg is
500k?
that number one, you said that there you asked the question: are there people that have
Yes.
actually from this
Poverty
from
come
poverty
out.
and have
And your
eliminated
answer
themselves?
was-
And you said yes, 1/100.
Thank you.
Now the reason why that 1/100 was able to achieve that is what reorientation.
What happened to the
With
99?
demand, right? Now that's why I said instead of outrightly sterilization,
That's-
orientate them.
What happened
So
to the
here is my
99?
point.
The 99 were they
Sterilize them.
orientated?
This is my point. Sterilize them, then start the orientation.
No.
Make sure that the bed stop.
No.
Then the orientation.
No.
Kelechi,
No.
talk.
Like this.
Kelechi, talk to us.
Poverty is a mindset.
Aggressive.
Yes.
Then why are you measuring poverty by 77k? Answer. No. Answer me.
No,
Why are you
my
measuring?
point. That's not what I said. I said
Answer
it's
me.
been
Why you?
passed.
No. Why are you measuring
People
poverty?
like this guy.
He said
Oh my God.
we needed to come.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. So Kelechi, repeat yourself. I think I lost something.
Please answer that question again.
How are you measuring it by 77K?
Over generation.
I don't like my
Yes.
guests.
How can you read someone's mindset?
Because
Wait. How can you read someone's mindset? Then you shut yourself in the leg and say poverty should be measured by people that don't make above that minimum.
because
That
we
means
needed
what we
a
do.
standpoint. We needed
And I have said, and you know, I have said
argument based on
there are
the standpoint.
families that
You need a level
live,
ground.
even if it's not
You need a level
comfortably
ground,
within that
regardless.
77k, and their children go to school, they at least feed, even if it's once in a day.
What
They
level
close
of
them.
education do
They close them.
No, quality of
See,
education do they get?
that's why I said. That's why I said.
Yeah.
Instead of outrightly sterilization,
Those-
you orientate them.
Those
You orientate them.
The truth is, when we
farmers-
talk about, you can't orientate them straight up without putting a pause.
Yes,
on
on what they are
already do.
doing.
You
Because
will
they will keep
sterilize
training
them.
the
Then,
use of
because when you
distraction.
sterilize them and then
They
you
just
tell
call
them
your
them
children
to
bundles
try
of
to bring
distraction.
a solution to them. You not sterilize them to give them a pause so they can listen to what you are trying to tell
Look,
them.
let us
You now
also
start to
let us
shift
also know that
the mindset.
nobody enjoys being poor. No man. Nobody enjoys being poor.
Because
Now,
if you
if
don't
there is
enjoy it, you do everything in your power to change
Guys,
it.
what makes it
please
think
don't
that
please.
they are not
Kelechi
doing
respond.
everything in their power
percentage
to avoid it?
What is the everything?
Kelechi and wisdom, please.
those percentage of the people you said those percentages of the people you said made it out of the mud. If they were not given that chance of their parents giving birth, how would they make it?
That's the point I said.
No, answer me. How would they make it?
What happened to the remaining 99?
So let me ask you.
out of
No,
the, you said one. We said we agreed that
So
one out of the
we are
100.
saying we are ready to
We
sacrifice
agreed
one
with
out of
we're
100, so we
we're
can bring out
sacrificing 99 people.
We did not only agree in the number one. We did not only agree in the number one, transcending that poverty. We also agree that it took what orientation. It took a change in mindset.
We
agree.
agreed.
Yes. Now that 99 that you keep hammering on. Why can't the government give that orientation?
Because
number one.
we are getting it too. But their brain has been
No,
So we are saying we
that
need
does
to
not.
sacrifice the one.
The 99
emotional sentiment you are throwing in is what people are basically
It's exactly what I'm going to say.
99 people.
See, this is what I'm going to
kill 99 people.
All right.
I'm saying.
I don't saying lives to be destroyed by poverty for one person to thrive.
No, what I'm saying is that listen, what I'm saying is that I was giving
Okay, guys. Listen. Don't worry. We are almost summarizing this show. You're going to say it much, right?
I need to say
Ladies and gentlemen, right? I think the podcast, both parties in this particular show and this particular episode swore from their houses that the poor people will same way in this particular show. They said the poor, you're not going to breathe. But I'm begging on behalf of the poor, on behalf of my fellow poor people that are planning to give birth to up to 12 children, because the most love language now is they are going on the dates, and the conversation is how many children would you want us to have? And they're like, I want 12. And in this show now, you are spoiling their market. Please, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very intense conversation. Yeah. And I know that like the beautiful thing about this conversation we've had today is that both parties have the best interest of the poor people at heart.
No, this is not about the poor people. This is about humanity.
Most people have the interest of humanity at heart. On the one hand, they say, see, I think that the only source of happiness for poor people is these children. I mean, most people give birth because they don't have money. Their children are their retirement plan. Yes, they are giving birth to children, and they're like on their investment. On the one hand, most people give birth because like there's some sort of joy and happiness they have from children from giving birth. But regardless of all of those things,
that is what you are trying to deprive.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not on any side. Regardless of that, right? People have the right to self-actualize, right? Their bodies, their ability to consummate and to make something out of their marriage is on them. Government doesn't necessarily have any right to interfere. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, they say, see, the world is exploding. The world is put in a the world is like a balloon, and the amount of sand in that balloon is getting too much. The balloon is about to explode, but the balloon is not even yet exploding. The people you are giving birth to are busting the balloon because you're not catering for them. At the end of the day, both worlds want to cater for humanity, right?
What I am saying is that the emotions you people are bringing into this whole vibe, that's why poor people remain poor.
No, have you said what you want to say?
No, I just
because
usually when you try to tell a poor person you are poor, he gets angry.
Oh, come on.
The next question is trying to be.
Oh, come on.
Am I really poor?
What?
I want to ask a question right now.
Okay, now I feel attacked.
Are you poor? Oh my god! Oh my god! Look, the poverty of wisdom is screaming.
Oh my god!
Okay, Kelechi,
human should exist.
I do. But do I believe? So I believe they should be saved.
Wait. If we are to lay this thing of humans on just rich people alone, how many
of the minimum wage being the measure?
Remember we said poor. I think people are
we already agreed on it.
But do you guys know? Do you guys agree? Do you guys know that the United Nations believe that over 60 to 80% of Nigerians live below $1 per day?
Yes.
It means that over 60% of Nigerians are poor. It then necessarily means that the only people, according to him, who continue to exist and give it to you are just the 40%.
So you think Nigeria will continue to evolve?
Don't you think?
Yeah.
It will evolve even better.
Then why?
Because you have less mouths to feed.
Okay, I want to ask a tricky question.
You have less mouths to feed.
What?
I want to ask a tricky question. What if the process of cheers, guys?
we give birth to children that will evolve Nigerian as
I want
That's
to
the
I want
mindset.
I want to ask.
Answer me.
Because,
Now-
because this
answer me.
mindset has been passed
No,
in circles.
Please.
Okay,
This
guys.
mindset has
If you
been passed
talk about
Guys,
this mindset,
you
Let me ask a tricky question.
Because now-
Relax.
Look, what I'm saying
Relax,
is,
wisdom. Relax. Let me ask a tricky question.
yeah.
What if in the process of the sterilization, let's say, is sterilization, first of all, is sterilization going to be permanent?
No.
Okay,
Is
in my
should-
opinion,
no, is it going
shouldn't
to,
be.
it should
In my
not,
opinion, it should not
it's
be
okay, it's okay, it's okay,
Yeah,
it should not be
it
permanent. What if in the process of the sterilization, something now goes wrong and then it becomes permanent?
Oh, wait.
For how many
If-
percent?
Let's
For
say,
every
let's say,
pop-
And then they
let's say-
become
wait,
rich eventually.
Wait.
Then
Okay,
they
let's
can
say
adopt.
you sterilize the
You
person
will see
for
have a
like,
lot in the
let me
streets.
say the person you sterilize, the person you sterilize has to live for like how many?
Maybe every 10 years.
like 70 years before the person, or the year which the person cannot be able to reproduce again. That means the chance, and the person eventually gets money, becomes rich. That means you have denied the person the opportunity of giving birth just because he couldn't wait for them to become
That's
rich.
why we're of the opinion that it is done in a controlled way.
I want you people to know that when we
But
talk about
this is the point
sterilization, we are
where
making
it's
it sound
every-
too big.
Yeah.
Because when we even talk about it, we already agree. People
Like-
are already
like-
intentionally
Injection doing it
IVF
themselves.
is
Yes,
sterilization.
IVF is sterilization.
And you can choose how many years you
Because
want
they
it
have
to
to-
be.
You can take it out
You can
after
make
10
it 10
years.
years. You can make it
after
5
years.
You can make it 2.
Now,
What
you guys-
if what
you
if
guys
the
are- you guys are
alternative
still
becomes
saying what I'm
what if
saying.
the alternative becomes, rather than sterilization, government should increase the minimum wage to like 1 million?
No, no,
That's not-
that
that's not
is
feasible.
not very feasible.
500k
It's
income,
not feasible.
250k income.
That one is
You know,
no,
or a
250K.
society-
Currently,
It's not feasible.
I think it's not feasible, but senators are eating over 30 million naira
You know,
like per
for a
month.
society to
Why?
function.
Do you understand?
For a society to function, they have different rules. Everybody, they have to be poor people. Do you know that?
Agreed.
Even
That's
just
why
said
you
it that
deny
the
that
person
poor
came with
people
us.
or continue.
I don't
Why you
get
deny
it.
that poor people?
Alright.
So you just no, this guy is being wicked to poor people. He's being wicked to poor people. So he wants poor people to remain poor.
All right, all right. Okay, it's okay, guys. We are running out of time.
I think we should just come to an agreement.
Yeah, so I really do not think, with the way we are going in this conversation, I really do not think we are coming to an
There's no
agreement.
middle ground.
But here is the thing: I know we have like intelligent audience that are watching. They don't they use their tongue, they count their teeth. They are using their head.
I say whether they remain poor. or
I
not.
swear, their account balance is listening to this talk show right
Oh my
now, and their account balance should advise them, right? I honestly think, as an independent observer in this conversation, right, that if you are poor, this is what my honest observation, because I think that I buy into what you're saying. But I think that as
You
a
see
poor
the point
person,
from
right?
both
Yeah, from
sides.
both views. If you're a poor person and then you earn 70,000 naira, which is like the very barest minimum that could barely cater for one person,
And a
right?
lot of people are not even earning that.
Yeah, I think
A lot of
if
people
you
are
must
not earning
if you
on
must
this.
if you must give birth if you must give birth to a child, maybe just give birth to one,
Yeah, or
right?
two at most.
Now,
Maybe because
that is not
It's
sterilization.
controlled.
That
no, I'm not
That is
arguing. I'm not
controlled
arguing.
by
I'm not
choice.
arguing sterilization. No, I'm not talking about sterilization. I'm
That's
talking about
controlled by choice.
one thing I draw from both arguments, right?
Controlled birth.
You guys say it shouldn't stop. You guys say it should stop. I think the middle ground becomes controlled birth, right? Government should allocate children based on how much you earn.
Yeah.
But there are people that you know are really, really like poor, right? Like people that you know that are like maybe sleeping under the bridges
Like the
and
people
all.
that the poor people call poor people.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ, so poverty get class. There's levels to the poverty. Jesus.
Let's just say
Elon
that
Musk,
again. Let's just say that again.
Poor people call poor people.
All right, but like, so those people who are chronically poor, right?
Oh my god.
You
But-
know most of them, those success stories you hear from people that are coming
Why
from
are you
background.
so emotional?
I feel like he started from the bottom and he's here.
Maybe he's a success story. He's a success story. You can't
I
relate.
need to hear your story one of these days.
You can't relate. Oh my
Those people
god.
that started from poor family. If government have controlled that birth, or let me say, if government have prevented their families from giving birth to them,
But you know you're taking
No,
us back to the one
no.
over.
Prevent- All right, so I think
of a rich
the thing right.
No,
This is the point. I feel like you're taking us it's a few steps back.
You said the
Because
offspring
we've
of the
gone
rich
beyond
people.
the
I'm going
point
to tell you that the
complete
probability of a rich
sterilization.
person's child to be rich is 70% high.
yes.
Now let me give you. Let me tell you what.
It's
Now
a
the poor
continuous
people they
process.
don't
It keeps
raise
printing.
poor people. Let me tell you, poor people they don't raise children. They groom children. Now, sorry, rich people they don't raise children. They groom children. Poor person wants to feed you, pay your school fees, and send you to school.
They're not interested
What
in
the
how
rich
they
teach you is how to manage
wealth.
wealth.
Now you guys are coming back to what I'm saying. That is why I said
So that's the
instead of
difference.
sterilization, there should be an orientation. There should be an orientation.
That's why the rich stay rich.
There should be an orientation.
Control
That should be
birth.
an
So
orientation.
control birth.
Control bet. It's already
Control
said
birth
control bet.
over
And if we're doing
complete
control bet, we
sterilization.
can't just do control bet when you're going to more.
All right, so
When you
okay,
do
it's
control
okay.
bet, you also
Machi.
make it orientation. That's the balance you can put to it.
All right, guys.
Which is exactly what Deng Xiaoping did in China.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
don't
no.
compare
Are we
China
done?
to
Are we done?
Nigeria.
So I think we should
Nigeria
just
haven't
end.
managed their economy to make such
All right,
for
so
Nigerians.
guys. All right, guys. So here's the thing, right? I think
That's
that
nice.
to a very large extent, we've had a fruitful conversation today, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's been fun. I've enjoyed myself on this show. I've enjoyed the banter, and ladies and gentlemen, before we end this show, Vivian is going to come on this set. Vivian is going to. You guys know who Vivian is, right? My amazing co-host. She excused herself from this event, from this particular conversation.
You guys had all the fun without me.
All right, please
Oh my God.
stop blocking the handsome
Oh,
gentleman
okay.
here. All right, okay. So Vivian, we've had a very heated conversation already today.
Okay.
Some people say we should buy giving birth. That poor people committed a crime.
Oh my
The
God.
punishment-
Because they are
The
poor.
punishment for poverty is that no
They
matter
should
how
have
much
given
you consummate with your wife, make sure that there is no
Your
offspring.
cooler game is strong. Your
Ah,
cooler game is
And
oh
make sure that you don't fulfill God's commandments of be fruitful and multiply.
multiply the world.
Which means
That
you
is what this
you
man
should be
said.
blind. The young man beside you.
Multiplying is only about childbirth. No, if how about multiplying your wealth? How about multiplying your wealth? How about multiplying your wealth? How about multiplying mentorship? How about multiplying mentorship?
No, I just said you get your wealth and multiplying it.
So, but some people don't have the wealth.
Who knows
They
where
don't have the
the
wealth.
wealth?
my point exactly. That is why I said. That is why I said.
Oh my God, I love Vivian.
On the comment section.
Exactly.
Sharing this video.
Oh my God.
This argument needs your voice and let's do it.
Oh my God. Honestly, right? I think that this conversation, like, I'm having headache already, and the headache is not coming from the fact that the conversation like is heated. The headache is coming from the fact that I already plan to have like 12 children, and I'm poor. You get, and I'm poor. I live below 1 million naira, and
But that's well above our estimates. Like we estimated
but to
77.
me, 1 million naira is poverty. Like,
all right.
when I-
Remember what I said about the poor like the poor
The
that
poor
calling
calling
people
people.
poor.
Oh,
So I
man.
mean,
This
he's
is
a
it.
poor man that calls people
I'm
poor.
a rich poor man. Like,
No,
You are not a rich.
This
You are not a rich poor
You are
man.
a
You are a poor man calling the poor poor.
Okay.
He said,
Kelechi actually, Kelechi is like,
I think he started from the bottom.
or maybe he's still at the bottom.
he said the minimum wage is out.
You are back to the minimum wage. Tinubu, please.
Because
I beg,
if
Tinubu,
people
if you're watching.
keep the question, just answer the question, then I'll continue.
Yeah.
He said the minimum wage is 77k.
Yes.
Okay. Let's say the person earns 75k. Sorry, 80k now. That's extra.
Extra 3,000.
Does that mean the person is rich? And
person
Wait,
is poor.
wait. See, that's
Wait,
yes,
wait.
go ahead.
Does that mean the person is rich enough to cater for the family?
3K,
Wait,
maybe.
the level playing ground.
No, we
arrived
arrived.
at
You
an
people are missing
estimate.
something. We are talking
Okay.
about Nigeria economy in question. Nigeria economy, what can 77k do for a family of 2 persons, 2 kids?
Agree.
Answer me,
I agree with you.
What
You
can
cannot
you
do anything.
What
You
can
cannot even feed me.
Yeah, what can 80k do for a family of 2 persons?
Nothing.
Nothing as well.
Why? You did
is also poor.
We agree.
Where's the thing?
Agree at a level playing ground.
But do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree? Let me jump
We
my
are
brother
simply
there.
the
Let me do my brother. Do you agree that in Nigeria today, I'm always talking about what is happening in our society. In Nigeria today, there is a family, or there are families who are still being able to raise a family with 77,000.
Yeah,
They are surviving. I will
survive exactly. Now you cannot deny a civil servant. You cannot deny a civil servant. You cannot
Alright,
deny
guys.
even a clear driver.
guys.
I like to our viewers. I'm sure you are relaxed at home, and I'm sure you're actually enjoying this particular conversation. Do not forget that this show is actually sponsored by
One me apartment.
Okay, and it's only one way apartment that can bring this leisure, this kind of entertainment to you sitting down in your house.
I'm not even
So make sure
joking.
to pay us a visit anytime.
And the
And I
reason
tell you that anytime you come to One Me Apartment, the content creator and you
the
want.
reason why these guys are able to like talk like this is because the AC blowing there. If they were somewhere else, I mean,
We are under the bridge.
under the bridge.
I don't know how you're talking to you.
I'm thinking of how to feed with 77.
We're not
Can
going
I
to be able to afford the data to do
can't.
this.
Oh my God, viewers.
And you know you are doing, if you're earning 77k, you see the data, is it that what is you're
Can you afford your data?
You go.
Please don't chase away our poor viewers. We need this. We need our poor viewers who brought now.
Why do I feel like we are?
So we are ending this conversation like right now. So
Are you a poor man? I have one question for wisdom. Wisdom, are you a poor man?
I feel attacked.
Because why are you feeling attacked?
I've been feeling this. I've been feeling this pain in my stomach. Because they're attacking me for crying out loud.
Do you know there are like different factors that human life depends on, apart from can you feed your children? Do you know there are sickness money can't even cure?
The sickness money cannot cure. You can prolong your life if you have money.
Seriously?
Yes, you can live. People that are fighting
Even
cancer.
if you, Shabi, you read this,
Cancer does not have
I'm going
cure.
to say one
But
thing.
you're fighting
I'm
cancer.
going to say one thing.
Chemotherapy is roughly over 15 million.
I'm going to say one thing.
Now, as a poor man fighting cancer, with your life extend,
Why would a poor man get cancer?
Shabi, you are there.
that's very sensitive.
Malaria. Why would a poor man have cancer for crying out loud?
Even the rich man come they collect for this show.
A poor man shouldn't be having cancer for crying out loud.
Okay, guys. The whole
For you
idea.
people remember, you know
Guys,
this song.
guys.
I rather be crying.
The idea basically is that the idea of birth, right, is amazing. People want to like give birth to children, but we want to give birth to children we can cater for, right?
Exactly.
That's basically because
If you agree to that,
but then they agree to that. This is my my independent solution.
So are you not saying that a poor man?
Okay, guys. Kelechi has the power to wisdom, matching Henrietta. Guys, we are ending this show right now because if we continue talking, we will keep talking and we're not going to end. So here's the thing, that I think that to the very extent where government ups their game, if government ups their game, like if we are going up, let's keep the argument aside and be logical. If let's say the government increases the minimum wage to say something like 250 or 300k, right? And then maybe makes it is possible if you cut it is possible if you cut down the excessive amount the senators, House of Representatives, and all of them. Chill now. I am guys. No one should talk anymore. I am concluding this show.
Okay.
So like, if they cut down all of these unnecessary expenses, increase the minimum wage, make a lot of subsidies for a lot of things that have that are necessary, make lights and all of those basic amenities available and all of that. Nobody, people will be poor, but the rate of poverty will be reduced. You will not be having this conversation about sterilization. The reason why we are going as far as sterilization is because poverty is already getting to a very extreme level. But the conversation have just been about vaginal birth control. What children should we have to get, like, that can fit into your budget and all of that. I really think, I think the whole thing is like calling on government, right? Government, I think you just have to up your game, right? Do better. These people, you force them to vote for you. You mandate them to vote for you.
I mean, so
for crying out loud.
so he can start feeling
And these guys basically do not even want to be in Nigeria in the first place. If you leave most of us would prefer not to be born at all. But therefore, those of us that want to be born in the first place, you will not. Well, even if you are going to be born, right, it is not going to be in a place like Nigeria. But then somehow we find ourselves here, and we voted you.